Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of I Am Fembi. I am Femi Fembi Agumbiade. I'm a media composer and lead composer for the hit animated series IYANU, currently streaming on Cartoon Network and HBO Max. If you're new here, this episode is part 3 of my character themes series. In part 1, we broke down the themes of Adura, the Queen of the Deep, and Dara. In part 2, we covered the themes of Olori, IYANU, and Nuro. If you haven't seen those episodes, you should definitely check them out. This episode builds on everything we've covered. Now here's something nobody tells you when you start scoring for film, TV, and animation. Locations are characters too. Think about it. The Shire doesn't just exist in The Lord of the Rings. It feels like home because Howard Shaw wrote it that way. Wakanda has a sound. Hogwarts has a sound. The Death Star has a sound. Great composers don't just score people in a story. They score the places that those people live in. So for IYANU, that meant treating certain locations the way I treat my heroes, giving them their own personality, their own emotional fingerprint, their own thing. Now, one of the locations that pops up constantly is the palace for the Kingdom of Elu. This is where the king, the Oba, and his council, the Elumesi, this is where they govern and discuss the matters of the kingdom. In the series, there's almost always an establishing shot of the palace, so I created a sting for whenever that shot shows up on screen. You should watch part 1 of this series where I discuss stings. Now, you've heard me say that the musical star of the series is the Yoruba talking drum. So I wanted to use that as the sting for the palace. But I also had a cool idea. For the Yoruba talking drums, the Iyailu, which can be translated to mother drum, is considered like the lead instrument in the ensemble of drums. The tone of this drum has a very distinct quality, and it has these brass bells that rattle every time the drum is played. So I definitely wanted to use this drum for the sting for the palace. My rationale was, just like the palace calls the shots for the rest of the kingdom to follow, this lead drum calls the shots for the rest of the other ensemble drums to follow as well. The dialogue in these palace scenes is very important, and one of the notes we got during the spotting sessions was to ensure that the music wasn't overpowering the dialogue, which you never want to do. So I was very mindful of that, and I wanted the theme for the palace to have the feel of a political drama. So I had these evolving pads and swells and these nice marimba plucks. The next theme I want to discuss is the theme for the Riverlands. The Riverlands is a very important location, and it pops up a couple of times in season 1. The Riverlands is actually a settlement outside of the Kingdom of Elu. The folks living there were actually exiled by the king, some would say unjustly. But the folks there are just doing their best to keep their heads up and just trying to survive. So I wanted to write a theme that was hopeful, but yet had this sense of melancholy. I also wanted the Riverlands to have a distinct sting. So I had this sample of a phrase played by a flute, and I just chopped it up and rearranged it and created a brand new melody. So you see here with the theme for the Riverlands, I have the Riverland flute, I have these choirs, And I have this cool instrument I created using this cool plugin from Reason Studios called Object. I use this to create an instrument and a theme for Mama Shewa. Mama Shewa is essentially the mother for the Riverlands. So I included a bit of her theme into the Riverlands theme. Also had a bunch of strings and violin textures, but if you notice here, there's something called Roy Riverlands pad. There's a great story around this. So during one of our spotting sessions, Roy was talking about what he wanted in terms of the music for the Riverlands. He was saying, I want it to be emotional. And then he actually sang a note. And then I cracked a joke. I said, you know, Roy, I think I'm going to take what you just sang here and use it to create the theme. And of course, we all bust out laughing. Roy was like, hey, please, I'm not a singer. It was just a joke at the time. But when I started creating the theme for the Riverlands, I was like, hey, that might actually not be a bad idea. So I went back to the recording of that Zoom call. I extracted the note that Roy sang and I put it into this great plugin by Reason Studios called Grain. This plugin is able to use granular synthesis and just manipulate any sample that you import into it. So this is Roy's original voice. And using Grain, I turned it into this. Crazy. Now I had something unique to add as the soul for this theme. And then I had this section with the drums and percussion. But if you see here, I also had the Udu drum. This is a Nigerian instrument originally created out of clay water jugs by Igbo women. I figure if I'm writing a theme for the Riverlands, then you use an instrument that has origins out of water. Here's what the theme sounds like. Now I have an even sadder version of this theme, and it was used in episode 5 of season 1 for the death of Mama Shewa and the destruction of the Riverlands. And that's a wrap on the character theme series. If you've been with me on all 3 parts, thank you. Seriously, you're the reason why I make these videos. For upcoming videos, I'm going to be kicking off a brand new series, How to Score, where I break down how to write music for action scenes, emotional scenes, comedy, and everything in between. Whether you're scoring your first project or your 50th, this series is built for you. If you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single drop. And if you enjoyed this video, drop a like. It genuinely moves the needle for this channel. And in the comments, tell me your favorite fictional location theme of all time. Is it Hogwarts, the Shire, Wakanda, whatever it is? Let me know what your favorite is, and I might actually feature one of your favorites in a future episode. Until next time, keep creating, keep scoring, keep telling stories with sound. I am Fem B, and I'll catch you on the next one.